Hello, everyone. This is ISHITA in front of you today to talk about the topic fertilization in angiosperms. That is a very important topic from point of view of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. When I say flowering plants, then it also means angiosperms. And when I say fertilization, it also means syngamy. That is the fusion of male and female gametes to form zygote, ultimately embryo. This process of fertilization in plants or fertilization in angiosperms is as similar to the process of fertilization in case of human beings when I talk about sexual reproduction in human beings. So that the male gamete, that is sperm from a male, can fuse with the female gamete, that is egg, into the ovary of a female, and they can give rise to a zygote that will develop into an embryo, it will develop into a fetus, and then it will give birth to a baby. Now today, as we are talking about the plants, because we have to talk about the topic from botany portion. So I am going to teach you fertilization in angiosperms. Let's see what are the basics behind the fertilization and angiosperms. If I talk about angiosperms, then it means the flowering plants. Flowering plants, why they are known as flowering plants? Because in the angiosperms or flowering plants, the pollen grains and ovules are developed in a specialized structures known as flowers. So when I am talking about the angiosperms, then it means the flowers will be present in the case of angiosperms. Angio and sperma, two words give rise to the term angiosperms, where both are the Greek letters or Greek words. Angio is a Greek word. Similarly, sperma is a Greek word, which means covered and seed respectively. So, angiosperms are the plants which are covered with seeds. So, they are the flowering plants where the pollen grains and ovules are dwelled in a specialized structure that is known as flowers. In the very next slide, I will be also discussing structure of the flower or the angiosperm with you, with which everything will be so crystal clear to you that what are the parts present in flowers and how then we can proceed to the fertilization or reproduction process. Here, talking about the angiosperms. We have already known this, that what does they mean and what they have, that is the pollen grains and ovules into specialized structures known as flowers. The seeds develop inside an organ which is modified to become a fruit. We have seeds in the angiosperms that develop inside an organ and it gets modified to become a fruit. Here, the modified fruit, what is modified into fruit? That structure in the angiosperms is known as ovary. So basically, ovary gets modified into a fruit, and that is why they are also known as flowering plants. The male sex organ in a flower is the stamen. So this is a homology. When I can talk about the humans in the past, we have male sex organ in the humans as well. Similarly, we have male sex organ in case of plants, and in plants, the male sex organ is known as stamen, and each stamen consists of a cylinder filament with an anther at the tip. What happens is, just like this, we have a structure of stamen, and it consists of a cylinder filament. This portion that I am drawing here, this is how filament would be presented, and on the above of it you would find an anther, and this is what I call as stamen. This is what I call as stamen. So here we are talking about the main sex organ of flower, that is known as stamen, that is divided into two portions, filament and anther. Each stamen consists of a slender filament with an anther at the tip. The anthers following meiosis produce pollen grains. These pollen grains in the plant are also known as male gametes. So what are the male gametes in a flowering plant? These are known as pollen grains. What is male sex organ? It is known as stamen. Now, each stamen consists of slender filament, we got to know, with an anther and the anthers. Anthers में क्या हो जाएगा? Meiosis हो जाएगा, and they produce pollen grains, जिनको हम male gametes बोलेंगे. Plant के male gametes कौन है? Pollen grains है, जो किससे बन रहे हैं? Following the meiosis or reductional division from the anther. Now, talking about the female sex organ. In case of female sex organ in a flower, we have pistil. What is the female sex organ in a flower angiosperm? Is known as pistil or the carpel. Now, pistil consists of an ovary enclosing one to many ovules. Ovules और ovaries होगी pistil में. Pistil किससे बना हुआ है? Ovary से बना हुआ है, जिसके अंदर एक से ज्यादा ovules present होंगे. और उन ovules में we have a highly reduced female gametophyte termed embryo sac. This embryo sac is also known as female gametophyte, and this plays a very important role when I talk about sexual reproduction or fertilization in case of angiosperms. How? We will know about this in upcoming slides. Now, the embryo sac formation is preceded by meiosis, hence each of cells of an embryo sac is haploid. This you must know. The ploidy level of each cell of an embryo sac is haploid. I'm talking about each cell, not the fusion of cells. So each cell of an embryo sac is haploid, that is N. And why? Because you must have known about this, that meiosis is a kind of reductional division. So when reductional division will occur, then cells formed after that division will be haploid in nature. Now, let us understand what has already covered in these slides. These are the theoretical points. So to understand well about all these plants, and when you will attempt a question for your competitive section, then you must know that you have to support every point, every theory point with the help of diagram, so that the examiner will be impressed with you, as well as you can cover maximum information with the minimum portion of your answer. So to support the things that we studied, we need a diagram where we can represent everything so well, that what are these structures, what are these parts that we talked about. So let's now understand how we can make a diagram of it, and now understand the structure. Talking about its diagram, what we need to do here is we need to draw a flower, and we need to draw each portion or part of the flower. So let us discuss how. Now we have this portion. And drawing of reproductive organs of a typical flower to understand the structure and the parts of angiosperm. This is what I am drawing. We have very first portion here, that would be stigma. What will be the very first portion that I'm drawing? It will be stigma. and then after following this style, I have ovary, from where I will be making another portion that would be stamens. Let's draw it again. This is what I am drawing a typical structure. You have it because this diagram, this is just a rough diagrammatic representation to make you understand everything well. Now, I am going into the half of this flower, the left side of the side portion of the flower. Okay. I am drawing it with different colors so that every structure would be clearly visible to you and would be clearly understandable to you. Similarly, it would be found here also. I'm just drawing into one half of a portion so that we can neatly understand this diagram. Then, now what next? We have this other portion inside. This would be circular, okay? This would be so circular. So draw precisely when you will draw it, okay? We will be having the placentation inside just like that, and style will arise from it. Okay, so I think I'm done with this, and now let's understand what I have drawn. This portion that I have drawn at the top of the flower, this is known as stigma. This is known as stigma. Now, what is the stigma? It is sticky terminal portion of carpel that helps in receiving pollen grain during pollination. आपकी fertilization कब होगी? जब इस flower के female reproductive part के आपके male reproductive part के pollen grains attach होंगे. And ये काम शुरुआत कहाँ से होगी इस काम की? It will happen from stigma, क्योंकि stigma में sticky substance, sticky surface present है, जहाँ पे आके आपके pollens land करेंगे during the process of pollination. किसी wind से, insect से, किसी agent से जो pollinating agent है, वहां से pollen grain receive करके flower आएगी, तो वो stigma पे आके चिपक जाएगी because of the sticky nature of stigma. So this is the very first portion of the flower at the top of the flower that is known as stigma. Then after stigma, you have style, this yellow long portion that is drawn inside. This is known as style. So it is middle elongated part of apple that helps in attachment of stigma to the ovary. इस stigma को ovary से attach करना है, क्योंकि जो pollen grains stigma के ऊपर आके अटेंगे, let us suppose ये जो पर्पल में छोटे-छोटे ड्रॉ कर रही हैं pollen grains हों, ये आके ovary में जाएंगे ताकि fertilization का process पूरी हो सके. उसके लिए what you need is कि ये stigma उस ovary के साथ connected हो, और इस connection में काम कौन करेगा? Style करेगा. और अब ये क्या है? This is ovary. These three parts, what do they form? ये तीन पार्ट हमारा बना रहे हैं कार्पल. And what is this carpel? I have already talked about this thing. Carpel is the female reproductive part of flower. So carpel क्या है? Carpel है female reproductive part of flower. Okay. Now, अब हम इसकी बात करेंगे नेक्स्ट वी हैव इज, अब हम बात करते हैं मेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पोर्शन। ये मैंने यहाँ पे बनाया था, व्हाट इज दिस, दिस इज anther, this anther, and now what is this, this is filament, और जैसे मैंने पहले डिस्कस किया एंड इसके क्वेश्चन में क्या बनाते हैं, दे फॉर्म स्टेम, डू दे फॉर्म, दे फॉर्म स्टेमन, और ये स्टेमन क्या है, पहले हम बात कर चुके हैं इसके बारे में, स्टेमन क्या है, स्टेमन इज मेन reproductive part of flower. Okay. Now, what next you have is, what next you have is, आपकी अगर रिप्रोडक्शन की बात करें तो उससे मेन पोर्शन जो का होता है रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट है फीमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव पार्ट। फॉर द इंफॉर्मेशन, क्योंकि मैं यहाँ फ्लावर ड्रॉ कर रही हूँ तो उसके लिए we have two other portions which is necessary and just accessory organs in flower. They are sepals, ये जो बनाया है ये सेपल, एंड दिस इज पेटल। सेपल और क्या है, जो आपका लीफ लाइक स्ट्रक्चर प्रेजेंट होता है आउटर मोस्ट सर्कल में फ्लावर के, जो आपकी बड्स को इनिशियल स्टेज में प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड करता है, उसको बोलते हैं सेपल्स, और बहुत सारे सेपल्स को इकट्ठे एक नाम से और बुलाया जाता है, दैट इज नोन एज कैलिक्स। ओके, एंड देन यू हैव पेटल, जो कि क्या है, ब्राइटली कलर्ड, जिसपे इंसेक्ट्स अट्रैक्ट होते हैं, जो पोर्शन के ब्यूटीफुल ब्राइटली कलर्ड पोर्शन होते हैं उनको बोला जाता है पेटल। पेटल जब एक साथ टुगेदर व्हेन व्हाट दे फॉर्म इज, दैट इज नोन एज corolla. Okay. So by this we are done with the structure of flower, and now we can proceed to the fertilization process. What will be the fertilization process now? Let us understand. This is how you will move to the portion of fertilization process. Okay, कैसे? स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ एम्ब्रियो स्टैक हमने बात कर ली है अब फ्लावर की, उससे पहले हम बात कर चुके थे कि एंजियोस्पर्म क्या क्या है, क्या क्या बन रहा है। अब मैं बात करूंगी एम्ब्रियो स्टैक, दिस फीमेल फाइट एम्ब्रियो स्टैक में क्या क्या होता है। एम्ब्रियो स्टैक इज अ 3-celled egg apparatus, 1 egg cell, 2 synergids, 3 antibodal cells and 2 pollen nuclei. So basically हर एम्ब्रियो स्टैक 7-celled 8 nucleated structure है। Sorry, it is 8-celled, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8. तो 8-celled structure है, जो नॉर्मल आपका एम्ब्रियो सैक होगा, कॉमन एम्ब्रियो सैक होगा, उसके अंदर क्या होगा, इट विल बी 8-celled structure. ओके, कैसे काउंट कर लीजिए, जिन सेल की हमने बात की है, इन सेल्स की आप बात कर लीजिए, तो ये क्या है, दे आर 8-cell structure, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. Now you have polar nuclei that eventually fuse to produce a diffuse secondary nucleus. ये जो दो पोलर न्यूक्लियाई होंगी, इनमें क्या हो जाएगा, वो इवेंचुअली फ्यूज कर जाएंगी ताकि वो एक डिप्लॉयड सेकेंडरी न्यूक्लियस बना। और पॉलिनेशन की बात हम पहले कर चुके हैं। पॉलिनेशन क्या है, pollen grains are dispersal from anthers are carried by agents to the stigma of pistil. पिस्टिल स्टिग्मा पे जो पोलन ग्रेन आती हैं से, उस प्रोसेस को बोला जाता है पॉलिनेशन। ये बेसिक स्टार्टिंग इनिशिएशन प्रोसेस है फर्टिलाइजेशन कराने के लिए, क्योंकि जब आपके पास मेल गैमेट फीमेल गैमेट में आ जाएंगे तभी आगे फर्टिलाइजेशन होगा। Now let us understand what next we have. We have the process of fertilization now. So what is process of fertilization? Let's understand. The process of fusion of male gametes with the female gametes is called fertilization और syngamy. ये हम ऑलरेडी समझ चुके हैं जब हमने फ्लोरल पोर्शन डिस्कस किया, आपको सब क्लियर हो गया होगा कि वो इट इज. एंड मेजॉरिटी ऑफ प्लांट्स में कुछ एंजियोस्पर्म्स में जो फर्टिलाइजेशन है वो इनसाइड द ऑर्गेनिज्म या फिर इनसाइड बॉडी ऑफ प्लांट होती है. फर्टिलाइजेशन का प्रोसेस आउटसाइड नहीं होती है, दैट इज इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन. तो एंजियोस्पर्म्स, मोस्ट ऑफ एंजियोस्पर्म में क्या हो रहा है? इंटरनल फर्टिलाइजेशन. And what is sexual reproduction? The flowering plants are generally angiosperms which carry the reproductive parts within the flower and seed enclosed in a fruit, जिसकी वजह से proceed होती है sexual reproduction. And then you have bisexual and unisexual, two kind of flowers where the most plants have both male and female reproductive organs in the same flower, that is known as bisexual flower. And when we have female or male reproductive part in a flower, but they have either male or female, means same flower में या तो only female part हो या only male part हो, इस तरह के flowers को they are known as unisexual flowers. Now what next we need to understand is the process of fertilization. This is the diagrammatic representation where you have synergid, egg cells, sperm cells, the pollen tube, you have a central cell, antipoles. ये पोलन ट्यूब यहाँ पे आई, उसका फ्यूजन होगा इन पोर्शंस के साथ. आफ्टर दैट आपके पास एंडोस्पर्म जाएगा, क्योंकि जब आपके पास फर्टिलाइजेशन हो रही है तो आपको अभी मैं बताऊंगी पूरा प्रोसेस की किस तरह से हो रही है. यू विल गेट टू नो कि ये वाली जो पोलर न्यूक्लियाई है, कौन सी वाली पोलर न्यूक्लियाई है. लेट मी हाईलाइट इट फॉर यू. ये जो पोलर न्यूक्लियाई है, इसके पास आके एक मेल गैमेट अटैच हो जाता है. इसके पास आके क्या हो रहा है? एक मेल गैमेट यहाँ पे आके अटैच हो रहा है, और उसके बाद ये जो आपका एक एग सेल है, उसके पास आके, इस एग सेल के पास आके भी एक मेल गैमेट अटैच हो रहा है. और ये एग सेल और मेल गैमेट, इससे बनता है ज़ाइगोट, और ये आपकी पोलर न्यूक्लियाई और एक मेल गैमेट, इससे आपके पास बनता है एंडोस्पर्म. तो उसकी प्लॉइडी क्या है एंडोस्पर्म की? 3n है, और ज़ाइगोट की प्लॉइडी क्या है? 2n है. ओके, तो ज़ाइगोट बनेगा फॉर एम्ब्रियो. ओके, आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू. दिस इज हाउ फर्टिलाइजेशन प्रोसेस टेक्स प्लेस इनसाइड एम्ब्रियो सैक. अब हम प्रोसेस स्टेप बाय स्टेप, हमने जैसे जिस तरीके से लिखना है उस तरीके से हम अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करें. Fertilization, where you have a compatible type that is the pistil. Compatibility होती है कि पिस्टिल हर तरीके के पोलन को नहीं लेता, तो कंपैटिबल होना चाहिए. जब आप कंपैटिबिलिटी के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, पोलन पिस्टिल इंटरैक्शन के बारे में पढ़ेंगे, you will get to know about this thing. कंपैटिबल पोलन है जो पिस्टिल के पास पहुंचेगा, नॉर्मली वो सिग्मा आके हेल्ड या अटैच हो जाएगा. पोलन जो है वो जाएगी, उसमें हाइड्रेशन होगा और जर्मिनेशन होगा स्टिग्मा पे, एंड आफ्टर दैट व्हाट विल डू इज पोलन को आगे कर देगा. पोलन को आगे करने से क्या होगा? उस स्टिग्मा के थ्रू वो पोलन, उस पोलन के थ्रू स्टिग्मा से वो पोलन नीचे चली जाएगी, वेयर इन द ओवरी. सो व्हाट विल हैपन? द पोलन ट्यूब पेनिट्रेट्स द स्टिग्मेटिक टिश्यू, goes down the style and enters the ovary and finds its way to the ovule. Ovule में उसकी जगह बन जाएगी. After entering into female gametophyte and embryo sac, pollen tube delivers 2 sperms in the vicinity of the gamete. And what will happen there is one sperm, the zygote, will form will fuse. This is the process of syngamy, that is known as fertilization. And then one sperm will fuse with polars or secondary nucleus, and it is triple fusion. ये process हो गया double fertilization. क्यों? क्योंकि जब syngamy हुई तो एक fertilization already हो चुकी थी. इस syngamy से एक fertilization already हो चुकी थी और दूसरा triple fusion हो गया, और यहाँ से आप पास क्या बन गया? यहाँ से हो गया आपके पास this process of double fertilization. This is the process of double fertilization. Okay. Now what will happen? Let us see what will happen now. प्रोसेस ऑफ फर्टिलाइजेशन में फर्दर क्या हुआ? जाइगोट बन गया क्योंकि सिंगैमी हो चुकी थी, और क्या हुआ आपके पास? जाइगोट बनने के बाद वो एम्ब्रियो में डेवलप हो जाएगा। जाइगोट बनने के बाद क्या होगा? वो एम्ब्रियो में डेवलप हो जाएगा। So like embryo with one or two cotyledons and the PEN, primary endosperm nucleus, goes into endosperm, which provides nourishment to the developing embryo. And the synergids and antipodals degenerate after fertilization. During these events, the ovules develop into seeds and the ovaries develop into fruit. Plant embryos in seeds have structures that are known as cotyledons. Just the basis where we have two types of endosperms that are dicots and monocots. And this is how the process of fertilization ends here. This is the typical life cycle of angiosperm that you need to draw. You need to show the diagrammatic representation to make the examiner understand your point. This is basically to understand यहाँ पे क्या क्या हो रहा है. Sporophoric body है, meiosis होगा, male gametophyte होंगे, exact the female gametophyte portion है, meiosis हो रहा है, zygote हो रहा है. That's but आपको समझने के लिए diagram, a beautiful diagram is मतलब it's attractive to understand. When you need to draw in the exam, how do you make it? Let me show. See. डायग्राम आपको मैंने दिखाया उसको कंपेयर कीजिए साइड वाले डायग्राम से. कंपेयर लेफ्ट हैंड साइड एंड राइट हैंड साइड. व्हाट यू कैन ड्रॉ फॉर द एग्जाम इज राइट हैंड साइड, because if you will make the structures even clear, then it will really time taking process and you need to save the time. So you have embryo sac, its fluid level is N, male gametophyte with the nucleus and integuments of ovule. This is embryo sac. उसमें क्या हो रहा है? pollination होता है, नॉट उसमें नहीं हो रहा है pollination, but pollination का process set aside is there. We have gametes and two male gametes are there. Fertilization में हो जाएगी. What will be the forming? Will be forming zygote. Then you have sporophytic embryo. Sporophytic embryo बन जाएगा यहाँ पे seed में. इसकी भी फ्लूइड लेवल क्या है? 2n. देन सीड्स जर्मिनेट होंगे, स्पोरोफाइट बनाएंगे, वो 2n है, और फिर स्पोरोफाइट मियोसिस हो जाएगा. ये मियोसिस होके क्या कर रहा है? मेल और फीमेल गैमेट के पोर्शन बना रहा है. 4n इधर से माइक्रोस्पोर्स बनेंगे, 4n इधर से मेगास्पोर्स बनेंगे. ये जो मेगास्पोर्स हैं ये आपका फीमेल वाला पोर्शन बनाएंगे और आपके जो माइक्रोस्पोर्स हैं वो मेल वाला पोर्शन बनाएंगे. This cycle will continue and this is the life cycle of angiosperm, where you have sporophytic dominant generation. Okay, so this is how the process of fertilization will come to end, and this is how the fertilization in angiosperms takes place. And I hope it is very much clear to you. And then we will proceed to the next topic after you practice this portion and this session. So keep studying and repeating the things. Thank you.